Living on the West Coast means you can catch some amazing views, and you can also catch some amazing fresh wild salmon, which is why I'm making my famous West Coast Niçoise salad today. I'm Chef Heidi Fink, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Today, I'm introducing you to my West Coast salmon salad. It's my favorite. It's a West Coast take on a Niçoise salad. This salad is fresh, tangy, delicious. Let's get started. So we're gonna start by prepping all of the components. This, like a Niçoise salad, is gonna have a bunch of cooked vegetables, some raw vegetables, a vinaigrette, and then we're gonna have salmon instead of tuna. So I'm gonna start with the green beans. We have some already prepped right here. I'm gonna just show you a quick trick on how to trim green beans quickly. So you wanna line up all of the stems together. So see here, I've got the little end piece. You wanna flip that over so that all the stem ends are just lined up like that, and then you can just cut them all at once. So you can do that with the whole batch of green beans, and it's very, very quick and easy. And it doesn't matter how long they are. And we're gonna leave them whole like that for the look of our salad. So we're gonna blanch them in some salted water. I'm just bringing some water to a boil. I'm gonna put some salt in that water. Just wait till it comes to a full rolling boil before I put in my green beans. I have a couple other pots going. This one right here has got a steamer basket in it, and that is gonna be for our eggs. So the reason I like to steam eggs instead of boiling them is that steamed eggs actually peel a lot more easily. You can also steam that in an Instant Pot if you have one of those. So they steam for between 12 and 15 minutes, depending on how well you like your yolk done. If you like it just a tiny bit jammy, do it for 12 minutes. Full hard boil, 15 minutes. But they won't have any sulfury outside on the yolk, even at 15 minutes. Okay, has this come to a boil? Almost. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you are the potatoes. So we've got tiny baby potatoes, these tiny little baby potatoes like this. In the summer, I really like to get those new potatoes, you know, the ones that hardly have any skin on them. Those have the nicest texture, but right now I'm using just tiny baby potatoes. The important thing is that the potatoes are simmering gently. They're not boiling. This is a mistake that a lot of people make. They keep the potatoes boiling the whole time, and that causes them to get really starchy and cloudy. If you want them to hold their shape, then you just simmer them. And these are actually done, so I'm gonna pull them off the heat and drain them. And another thing that I want to talk about, and I'll be talking about this with the green beans as well, is that I do not shock my vegetables in cold water. So that's a very common technique, I guess, when you're cooking vegetables and you want to stop them from cooking instantly, is to plunge them in cold ice water. What I find, especially with potatoes, is it makes them really soggy and wet, and it's not really good for the salad. So I spread them on an aluminum tray like this, and they steam off, and I'm gonna do the same thing with these green beans. So here we go. Our water is at a nice boil now, and we're gonna put the green beans in here. I don't think I actually need all of these. I'll put a few of them in here. We just need a couple of salads. So they're gonna cook for just a few minutes. You wanna pull them off sort of before you'd be ready to eat them, because I'm gonna do the same thing with these green beans. I'm gonna drain them and then cool them on the tray. I'm not gonna shock them in ice water, so they'll continue cooking for like 30 seconds, but that way they get dry and nice. Okay, while that's happening, I'm gonna make my vinaigrette now. So I've got some fresh thyme. Now you can do any type of vinaigrette that you want for this recipe. I love this lemon thyme vinaigrette. The fresh thyme is so fragrant and aromatic, so I'm just gonna mince that up. I saved it all to mince because I love the smell of fresh thyme. Oh, so good. Oh, my green beans. I'm gonna take the lid off just so it doesn't trap the heat too badly. I will put this right here. There we go. So you want this on like a boil/simmer. Okay, so we need 1 tablespoon of thyme chopped up for this recipe. Okay, and then we're gonna get all our other ingredients. So I have 1 tablespoon of minced shallot. Shallot are those tiny little onions. Here, I've got one right here just to show you. These tiny little onions like this. They have a really aromatic flavor. They're not as strong as regular onion. They're actually like an ancestor of both onion and garlic, so they have a really nice flavor. And then I've got 1 clove of garlic. I grated this on my zester, which I'm also going to use right now to zest a lemon. Let's get one. Okay, so grated lemon zest. Okay, so in here I have my garlic, shallots, lemon zest, and thyme. I'm also going to add a couple tablespoons of fresh parsley. I really like the herbs in this because it really reflects the freshness of this meal. Now I'm just going to actually pause on that and come back to my green beans because I don't want to overcook these. I want them to still have some nice bite to it. So there we go. I'm going to go dump this in the sink. Okay, and just like I showed you before, I'm gonna just dump this out onto here and spread it into a thin layer. So again, this is an aluminum tray. Aluminum transfers temperature very quickly, so this will cool off in less than a minute, and it also is steaming dry. So when you have the dry beans and the dry potatoes, they can hold the dressing better. If they're wet from being stuck in ice water, they just don't hold dressing. So that's my trick for blanching veggies or par cooking veggies. Okay, back to our vinaigrette. So we have our aromatic compounds in there. Now we're just gonna add some more ingredients. We're gonna add about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Then we're gonna add a tablespoon of honey. And you can use another sweetener of your choice. I really like honey in salad dressings because I think it gives it a really nice, flavor. I'm gonna put those away. And I don't need my zester anymore, but I do need my fancy lemon juicer. A lot of people ask about this. It is actually an antique, but you can find it in a lot of secondhand stores. It's pretty handy. I got it from my grandmother. So you need about 4 tablespoons of acid in this recipe. So either I use 4 tablespoons of lemon juice or I use 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And you could use another type of vinegar, like I've used white wine vinegar before, but just a light tasting vinegar. And then finally, I need some salt and pepper for seasoning. So about half a teaspoon of pepper and about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna whisk that up. Sorry, I don't wanna over salt it, there we go. Okay. So you wanna whisk until this is all even. You've got the salt and honey is dissolved, and then you're gonna slowly pour in some oil. I have some extra virgin olive oil here. I've got half a cup. You could use any oil that you like. I've also used sunflower oil, avocado oil, or sometimes I use a mixture of olive oil with another type of oil. But it's good to make this ahead of time. In fact, I actually love to make this ahead of time, and I can have it in the fridge and use it to make the salad. It usually lasts about a week in the fridge. It's so good. Okay, this smells so good. It's fresh, it's aromatic. I can smell the lemon, I can smell the thyme, I can smell the garlic. I'm so excited to assemble our West Coast Niçoise salads. We'll do that after the break, but first we're on the road.
Cooking on the Road is brought to you by Whisk Victoria, the small but mighty kitchen gadget store for every home chef.
I'm here at Eatmore Sprouts with Carmen, and she is going to show me all about their process and how they turn the seeds into sprouts.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having us.
I'm so happy to have you guys. We're in the drum rooms right now, and what we've got going on here, this is alfalfa seeds.
Yeah, okay.
So the seeds were put in here yesterday. They'll come out up here in a day and a half now. They grow a lot.
Moving, I see.
So yes, they're rotating just to keep everything from clumping together.
Okay.
If you ever grow sprouts at home, you'll know that they
clump. They like to clump, yeah.
And then there's misters in here that water them on a regular basis.
Okay. So and before they go in here, you have quite a special process, right?
Prior to this, we do a seed sanitation process with them, and we're buying our seeds from sprout seed suppliers.
Okay.
We have a very stringent testing program. So they're in here for 2.5 days, and then we take them out and put them through a washing process, and they continue their journey to a finished product.
Oh, can we see the next step?
Let's do it.
Okay, awesome.
we're now in the room where the racks are coming after they've been spread. So the trays have been spread yesterday.
Okay.
And they've had their flavors put on them, so the deli and garlic got added. And then those are going to be in this room for today. Well, we empty the light grow room. When the light grow room gets empty, it gets cleaned, and then all this gets moved over there just to green up for the last day.
Okay, so they kind of grow in more dim light, and then they get in brighter light to get green.
Yeah. So, and then they'll be harvested tomorrow. These will be in packages tomorrow.
Great. So the whole process is what, like 5 days?
4.5 days.
4.5 days. Wow.
From start to finish. Yeah, it's pretty quick. So from here, it goes to packaging.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out.
Okay, I'd love to.
It's Wednesday, so it's a big pack day today.
Yeah.
We're packing about 33 racks. And
33 of these racks. Okay.
Yeah, 33 racks, all different flavors, everything gets packed today. But yeah, we've got a team of really hardworking folks that work with us. They're pretty awesome. Lots of them have been here for a long time.
Yeah. So how many sprouts do you make like in an average week, do you say?
Between 7,000 and 10,000 pounds a week.
7,000 and 10,000 pounds.
Is a lot of sprouts.
Wow,
I know.
crazy.
Yeah.
And you supply the whole island?
Oh, we supply Western Canada.
Western Canada. Oh, okay.
Yeah. As you can see here, like we do everything by hand. The quality is really important to us. So it's checked at every step.
At every step, right? So they can check the quality as they're packing it. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Look at all these sprouts. I just want to crunch some in my mouth. Do you have some for us to try?
We'll go get some sprouts.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Wow, this is incredible. What have we got here? There's so many sprouts.
Yeah, there's so many sprouts. I figured we could just take a bowl and make ourselves some salad.
Okay, I love it. Oh, the broccoli.
Yeah, lots of good flavor.
The broccoli sprouts are my jam. Oh, they're so good. They're a little bit spicy. Oh, those garlic sprouts. Those are so good. Well, thank you so much. This has been incredible for this delicious feast and for showing us around. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much. It's been fun.
Oh, it's been so fun. Check out Eatmore Sprouts. They're so delicious. Made right here on Vancouver Island.
Yep. Who knew?
Welcome back. Let's start talking about salmon. It is the star of this West Coast salmon Niçoise. So right here, I have a piece of wild sockeye. One of the things I want to talk about is when you're buying fish, what to look for. It's supposed to be shiny, tight. It shouldn't be gaping or looking soggy. The other thing is, especially if you're buying smaller pieces, the fatter end here that's kind of on an angle, this is the collar end. This is closer to the head. And then as you get down here, this is the tail end. So what's important is that you, the collar end is actually the nicest end of the fish. So if you only need to get a couple pieces, try to ask for collar end and avoid getting tail end. So I'm just gonna cut this into a few pieces and we're gonna cook it with the skin on. Oh, I was going to show you a trick about that. If you can't cut through, here, I'll show you right here. If your knife can't cut through the skin, you can actually use a pair of sharp scissors to cut that. Oh, these ones went through easily. Oh, perfect. Okay, so I've got our salmon cut. So I just wanted to bring that up to you because sometimes if you go to the fishmonger or the fish counter at the grocery store and you ask for a piece of salmon, they'll automatically try to give you the tail side. You want to avoid that if possible. Not that there's anything totally wrong with it, but this is more tender. I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, so you can cook this any way that you like. Grilling it on the barbecue is great, but I'm just going to pan sear it. So I'm going to crank the heat on this pan, and then once it's nice and hot, I'm going to dial back the heat and put the salmon in. So while we're waiting for that pan to heat up, is it almost hot? Oh, it is almost hot. This is what I love about induction. So we're going to put a neutral oil in this pan. I'm putting in some avocado oil. You could use whatever oil you like. Okay. You don't want to have the salmon crowded in the pan because then instead of searing nicely, it's going to kind of steam. So just lightly sprinkle it with salt and pepper. For this West Coast salad, you don't want it to be too insane. Okay, whoa. Okay, we're going to turn it down to medium. I'm just going to put this salmon back in the fridge. There we go. So we're just going to let that get crispy. One thing about salmon is you don't want to overcook it. It should still be slightly raw in the middle. You want to cook it to about 130 to 140. internal temperature. So we're just gonna cook it long enough to get the skin crispy, and then we're gonna flip it. Okay, so another thing I like to do with the potatoes, these are the potatoes that I've gently cooked, is pre-marinate them if possible. I don't do that with the other vegetables, but it is a good idea to do that with the potatoes if you can. Okay, I'm gonna just get a glove on, I think, because I don't wanna wreck the shape of the potatoes. Okay, there we go. Actually, let's check the salmon. We're gonna flip it. Now, I don't want to, I always wanna make sure there's some fresh oil where I'm about to put the salmon, just so it doesn't stick. There we go. Flippy, flippy. There we go. So I could have had this heat on a lot hotter, but it's kind of spraying everywhere, so I turned it down. Okay, so ideally you could do this the day before, or even 2 days before. This is something I do a lot in the summer. I go to the farm market and I buy all these veggies, and then I prep them all, and then I have them all in the fridge. It's very fancy, and then I can just make salads anytime I want. It's the one time I feel very virtuous, when I look in my fridge. So here I've got some beautifully freshly washed greens. This is just different types of lettuce and arugula. You could use whatever you want. You can use the store-bought mix as well. And I'm gonna start assembling these salads. So I have some you want some like plates for this. So niçoise is what's known as a composed salad. So it doesn't get tossed in a bowl, it gets arranged beautifully on a plate. Okay, so we're gonna put each person, this is like a full meal salad, okay? So each person gets a couple cups of greens, and these ones I tore. You wanna make sure that you cut them up or tear them up pretty small so people aren't, you know, slapping their chin with lettuce when they go to eat. Okay, then we're gonna put a little pile of potatoes in the middle. The thing that's nice about this is people can assemble it how they want. So often at my house, I'll make all the components and then put it on the counter, and then people can assemble their salad with whatever components they like. My kids will just throw it all on the plate. Kind of breaks my heart a bit, but you know, they still get all the goodness. I'm just gonna take that salmon off. Like I said before, you don't want to overcook it, so you want it to still be, I don't know if you can see on that side. Yeah, you want it to still, here, let me take them both off and then I'll show you. You want it to still be kind of rare in the middle like that, okay? So that you can see that strip of rare, and then what's gonna happen is it's going to continue cooking as it sits here for a couple minutes, and I'm gonna take that off the heat and turn that off. The worst part about pan searing is how greasy your stovetop gets, but we can't do anything about that. The sacrifices I make for cooking. Okay, so next we're going to put a couple green beans on. So I like to do what's called like the opposite, I don't know what it's called actually. I just do opposite. So I do green beans on one side, green beans on the other side, kind of opposite to each other. And then I do that over here. And obviously I'm making very large salads, but you could make them a bit smaller if you wanted to. And then I'm gonna just get glove on for the beets. I don't normally put gloves on to handle beets, but then this way I just don't have to go running and washing my hands. Now that I've pulled the salmon off, I can smell it. Just like really fresh, beautiful sockeye that's just cooked right, just has a smell like no other. It just smells so good. It doesn't smell fishy at all. It smells like, I don't know, it smells salmony and sweet. Okay, so same thing. I'm gonna oppositionally put some beets. And this is what I put on instead of olives. I know they're not salty like olives, but they have that kind of pop of color. Okay, then we're gonna do our eggs, and I'm gonna cut them in quarters. Look at that. So this was 12 minutes in the steamer, if you can see how perfectly it's cooked, not overcooked. The yolk is just a touch jammy. And then I'm gonna put these right here. I don't want them touching the beets because otherwise they can kind of get discolored. Not that that matters, but you know, all of a sudden I'm getting full chef right now. Then we're gonna put some cherry tomatoes, and I've got a mixture. So you can use obviously any type of tomato that you want. I like cherry tomatoes because they're always kind of sweet and tender. If it's the summertime and you have access to really nice fresh tomatoes, then put a couple wedges of tomato on there. Okay, now we just have to put the fish on and then drizzle it with some dressing. There we go. I'm gonna put, and then that way. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at this. Okay, we gotta put the dressing on. Don't forget the dressing. Stay focused, stay focused. Okay. I love this salad so much. Like the colors, the smells, how fresh it is. Okay, so drizzle generously with this dressing. Oh man. As soon as it hit the salmon, I could just like instantly smell that. Okay. You could also have put a little bit of the dressing on the greens as well before you topped everything. It kind of depends on how much dressing you like. Some people like a lot of dressing on their salad. Something like this, because each component is, you know, kind of mild, like not heavily seasoned, other than the fish and the potatoes. Look at that. The essence of a West Coast summer, my West Coast salmon salad. It's so beautiful. It's one of my favorites.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
A special salad like my West Coast salmon niçoise needs a special beverage pairing, and Shannon Ward is here to help us out. Welcome back.
Thanks, nice to be here again. So I thought, what goes better with like local, fresh vegetables than sparkling wine?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm there with you.
So I thought, let's try some cava today.
Okay.
So Spanish cava, Spanish sparkling wine. With a dish like this, because it's so seasonal and fresh, you don't really want to have a wine that's going to overpower any of these flavors.
Ooh, well played.
And, this comes from the Penedès region of Spain. And when you go there, they always pour cava with seafood.
Okay, yes, I can see that.
So fish, lots of seafood, because it just goes so well with it. So this is Segura.
Okay. Smelling good. As soon as you opened it, I could smell it.
Yeah, so really light-bodied, really zippy, high acid. Not too overpowering, not too floral.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Mm. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's delish. It's very bright, very crisp, very fruity.
Very fruity, very citrusy.
Yeah.
And just a really good kind of like condiment to your food. I really like to think about wine as a condiment.
Yeah,
for
that's
your
a great
food.
way of looking at it, as a condiment. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try this with, maybe I'll try it with the fish since you suggested that. The fish this has got like a lemon thyme dressing on it, so.
So high acid with food and high acid with wine actually brings the acid down in the wine. So
okay. Let's try it. Yeah.
Really brings out the green, the herbs.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You know, this really is a perfect pairing with the salad.
It did work out quite well.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's see your take on this West Coast salad niçoise. Share your photo on social media and tag me. I'm Chef Heidi Fink. The more you learn, the better it tastes. Okay, I gotta try it with the potato this time.
I think the acid really cuts like through the salmon.
Yeah.
But the green,
The herbs,
the thyme,
the thyme and the parsley.
it goes so well with the citrus kind of character of the sparkling.
Yeah, it does, I agree.
Perfect.
Thank you. Oh, that wine's so